picking it up pretty good.
Con.
All right. Let me see how we give it. Let me see how the audio.
Oh, con.
Is that correct?
Con.
All right, Shalom, Shalom. We the brothers of the Great Millstone, the church here in Birmingham, Alabama. And as always, want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Ruach Double honors to the head apostles and elders of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the fellow laborers out there. And as always, you believers. So yeah, it's the brother Awaram I have with me.
The brother Barak.
Yeah, we back once again, as always, to pronounce judgment against this wicked kingdom, America, also known as Babylon the Great, in which that judgment will be in the form of a great destruction and manifest by way of World War III, in which the scriptures actually liken into a storm. Now, there's a science behind that, because when you consider a storm, it's not instantaneous. Case in point, the hurricane that descended upon the East Coast, right, the eastern seaboard, and parts of Florida, right? Well, it wasn't as if the hurricane just instantaneously manifests at the moment. No, it built up in the Atlantic Ocean, right? Until ultimately it reached that category 5 or 6 or whatever, the highest form of the storm. So that's the same with the destruction that the Lord has stirred up for America, man. And that's why it's likened to a storm, because it's already brewing. You know, you hear the term, the storm is brewing. Matter of fact, do me a favor, click on that word brew. It could just be a simple definition, or Google. Everything is a build-up with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Even the kingdom of heaven, which is going to ultimately be a perpetual state, right? But it's being built. See? Come on.
Con, that word brew, Google definition, you know, first couple of definitions concerning beer,
Oh, okay.
you know, because of the modern times. But jump down, it says a mixture of events, people, or things which interact. Salakia. It says of an unwelcome event or situation.
Right, which definition is that one?
This is the third
That's
definition.
the third one, right? So like the brother said, the first couple of definitions having to do with brewing beer or whatnot. But this third definition, this is what applies to this concept. Read it again.
Of an unwelcome event or situation.
Right, and that unwelcoming event is the destruction, man, which will be preceded by a series of misfortunes and calamities, such as the famine, the blackouts. See? Read that again.
An unwelcome event or situation began to develop.
Began to develop. So that's why that word is associated with a storm. A storm is brewing because it has everything with the development. Again, a storm in whatever fashion, whether a tornado, a tsunami, hurricane, is not instantaneous. It builds up. You see? Hey, that's why when you hear, you know, the report, right, you'll have a brave, a Edomite, a wild, reckless Edomite, right, on location, man. It could be, right? That's the spirit, that's us. But it can be, you know, it's always down to crunch time. And he might settle in a good 30 minutes before the storm touches. But you will see it brewing. You will see it in the background. You'll see potato chip bags floating around. And then that storm begin to pick up momentum and start to develop. Right? As it progressed, then you see the trees swaying more emphatically. And ultimately, when it reached the highest category, then now you got cars being pushed around, houses being moved out of the way, see? That's the same with the judgments of Yahweh Shema Shah. And that storm is brewing now, man. And it's not going to subside. It's going to eventually keep building and developing into that category 5 destruction. You got something?
Con. Just going back, like you said, is a build up.
Right.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 6. It says, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. So the elements, concerning like they come before the storm, certain things are being brewed up.
Right.
It's not as emphatic as it first started, but as the results, that's what the end is in effects and signs. That's when you're going to see the full work of Yahweh Shema Shah on display,
Right, and what happened when those storms began to brew? The people began to board up their homes. They began to, seek out a place of refuge. Yeah. And that even comes with the report, right? One of the meteorologists, they'll put it out there, find the place of refuge. Yeah. Whether it's the lowest place in the house, the basement. See? Matter of fact, can we get that in Isaiah the 4th chapter? Because that's the stage we're in now. Before this thing erupts into that category 5, in this case category 7, the 7th trumpet, right? Should have named it that. Category 7 storms. But once it builds and develops into that, it's over. But prior to that, you got time to brace for impact. Come on.
The book of Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 6. And there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime from the heat, and a place for a place of refuge, and for a covert from storm and from rain.
Right. So this gathering is likened to a house, obviously, but it will serve as a covert, a refuge from what? That storm and rain. See? So with that, let's get into it out. Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. We're going to begin at the first verse. We're going to try to read all of this, so let's kind of run through it.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
Right, and that's concerning the ministry. Because remember, when you read Ezekiel, the 35th chapter, we was commanded to set our face against Mount Seir, which is the throne of Esau, the so-called white man, the very symbol of those who oppressed us. And furthermore, we're not just speaking in general, right? We telling you who the corporate is, who is the offender, right? Come on.
It says, and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear.
Yeah, and that's where we at with it. The elites, the powers that be, they pretty much frozen with fear because they have received the evil tidings. The prophets, Yahweh Shema Shah, by way of the prophets, has pronounced their fall. So it has, developed a certain reaction. Come on.
It says, and when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for.
Right, because the deliverance of the elect of the nation of Israel is going to be way out there, man. Come on.
And they repenting and groaning for angles of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor.
Right, and that's the diagnosis, if you will, of all the people. They really believe that this is going to fizzle out into us going back to, jobs, our, building here in America. And they don't expect this to end in honor, which that word honor, when you go into it, it pretty much translates to promotion, which has everything to do with being exalted. And that's how the elect is going to be delivered. And this is what contributes to that strange salvation. Go ahead.
How is he numbered among the children of the Most High?
Right, because they believe we're just a bunch of disgruntled so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, black people, niggers, right? Sticks. Yeah. Go ahead.
And his lot is among the saints.
Right, so it's going to be a shock value that comes with the deliverance. Go ahead.
Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us.
Go ahead.
we wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yeah, we have gone through deserts where it's like where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it.
Right, them devils, they have exhausted all the resources. They'll send satellites up into the heavens. They'll go through deserts where no man lives,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Dry places, yet they can't come into the understanding of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. Go ahead.
Khan, it says, where have pride profited us? For it's like, or what good have riches with our vaunting brought us? All those things are passed away like a shadow.
Right, because when the Most High take down Esau, then he's going to take away everything. The memory of this place, you're not going to have a thought of the NBA and the kingdom. Right, you reminiscing on your favorite team in this lifetime. No, man. And even when you go into the world to come, we're going to take Edom's land, that land just south of Judah, man. Go ahead.
It says, it's like I'm gonna read it again. It says, all those things are passed away like a shadow, and as a post that hasteth by, and as a ship that passeth over the waves of the water, which when it gone by, the trace thereof cannot be found.
Right. If a ship go through water, right, that trace is not permanent. Meaning it was just, as they say, two ships passing in the night. Right? Just a memory. Go ahead.
Neither the pathway of the keel in the waves, or as when a bird hath flown through the air, there is no token of her way to be found.
Right. and you can apply that to Eve, man. He's that bird in the air. Right? And in his endeavors, his triumphing, if you will, is only for a moment in time. So if you consider a bird when it flies, it don't leave a trace. You know, like you see a car, they give you a vivid illustration, a nigga who need a tune-up, that muffler gonna leave a trace. That nigga can't even get away. The smoke follow him, and he made a right into Titusville. You know what I mean? That's not gonna be the case with Esau. It's not gonna be any resemblance of his kingdom. Go ahead.
God. It says, but the light air beaten with the stroke of her wings are parted, the violent noise of motion of them is passed through, and therein afterwards no sign where she went is to be found.
See that? So after this place is over, it's not going to be any signs of the eagle of America, man. The so-called white man. Go ahead.
It's like I believe it said in Second Ezra there shall be no more eagle or something like
Right,
that.
yep.
Second Ezra 11, I believe.
Yep. Oh, Khan. With the eagle. Yep.
Second Ezra 5 and verse 12 it says,
Yeah, and that's that phoenix, which these devils, right? That bird that rise from the ashes. No, this bird is going to be done away with. Right. Go ahead.
God, it says, or like as when an arrow is shot at a mark, it part of the air, which immediately coming together again.
Right, like a bullet. In modern terms, you shoot a bullet, it parts the air for those milliseconds, but then the air come back and you don't see no trace of the bullet. Go ahead.
It says, so that a man cannot know where it went through, even so we in like manner, as soon as we were born, began to draw to our end.
Right, and that complements what? Revelation 17th chapter. Right? Which was of the 8 and go up into destruction. So soon as the so-called white man emerged back on the scene out of the pit in the form of America, Babylon the Great, his face card in a sense, that was the start of his ending. That's proof. The mere fact that America is erected is proof that a great destruction is coming. Come on.
Khan. It's like it says, and had no sign of virtue to show, but were consumed in our own wickedness.
Yeah, because these devils, under their watch, nothing prospered. They was consumed in their own wickedness. They was on the clock. You know, if you put a burglar in a setting, right, a bank robbery setting, he's going to be on the clock. A lot of those burglars, those sophisticated burglars, they have a clock. right? So that's why everything is warp speed with Esau. See? Because in the spirit, he's on the clock. And with that time, he done nothing but conceive wickedness. Read that again.
Con. It says, even so we in like manner, as soon as we were born, began to draw to our end, and had no sign of virtue to show, but were consumed in our own wickedness.
See that? And ultimately, that's going to be perfected with the destruction. Because of their wickedness, that destruction is coming anyway. So this is what's going to consume them, that fire, and it's going to be based upon their own doings. Come on,
For the hope of the ungodly is like the dust that is blown away with the wind.
See that? And that what's that? Psalms, the first chapter. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick.
The book of Psalms 1. And I started at 1. It said, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord.
Right, which is teaching. You see? That's delighting in the law of the Lord. Go ahead.
And in his law doth he meditate day and night.
Go ahead.
And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so.
Right, so you see, oh, there you go again. These two entities, if you will, those two extremes, Jacob and Esau. So you have the one son who's going to receive life. That's his inheritance. Versus the other son, the son of perdition, who's set to inherit death. You see? Destruction is his inheritance, man. Come on.
Slot. It says, the ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff with the wind driveth away.
Read that part again.
It says, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away.
Which the wind driveth away, which goes back to the storm. And we know that wind represents what? The destruction, man. Hey, you're not going to see the word World War III or the words, that phrase World War III in the scriptures. And there's a science behind that because it was meant to stumble and snare the undesirables. Oh, you got something?
Going back to that, the wind, Job 27, and I start at verse 19. It reads, the rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He openeth his eyes, and he is not. And if I may, it's going back to the parable of Lazarus and the rich man.
Yep.
You know, it says he shall not be gathered because, as you mentioned earlier, he's not going to go back to his land. You know, it says, terrors take hold of him as waters. A tempest stealing him away in the night. And this is the night. This is his time. But it said that tempest stealing him away, which is that destruction. You know, the World War III, it says, the east wind carrieth him away, and he departeth, and as a storm hurleth him out of his place. So it said that storm, which is the destruction, this is what's going to uproot this man.
Right.
You know, this is what's going to, you know, carry him away. This is what's going to remove him, this destruction, you know, that storm, you know.
Yeah, you notice, right? It said the east wind.
Oh, yeah,
So that means he must be located in the west, right?
Yeah.
So that proves that's another nugget that proves that America is the focal point, man, in which the Lord will bring that destruction. So, yep, we can go back.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, and verse 14, it says, for the hope of the ungodly is like the dust that is blown away with the wind, like a thin froth that is driven away with the storm, like as the smoke which is dispersed here and there with a tempest, and passeth away as the remembrance of a guest that tarrieth but a day.
Right, because Esau, he was appointed to this time.
Yeah.
He was given a certain time to govern over the planet Earth and no more. As it reads in, what's that, Job, the 38th chapter? Where those proud waves can only go so far, man. Here and no further. So he was given a appointed time to rule. And his tenure, if you will, is likened to that of a what's that, Job, the 8th chapter, a hireling.
Con.
So he's nothing more than a guest, right? Because the Lord owns the earth, man. And he give it to whomsoever he please, which would be his elect, Yarsha Allah, the sons of God. You see? Go ahead.
Con. He said, but the righteous live forevermore.
See, and that's concerning the kingdom of heaven, man. See, it's not going to be a report of the Medes being stirred up to take down the governing body, the 144,000, man. No, we're going to be securely placed in the throne of rulership. Read that again.
It said, but the righteous live forevermore.
Mm-hmm.
Their reward also is with the Lord, and the care of them is with the Most High.
Right, and that proves that to be in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, you have to look past this place. You have to understand the concept of everything being temporal. The real reward is with Yahweh Shema Shai, man, as pertaining to the kingdom of heaven. Come on.
Therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom
See that?
and a beautiful crown from the Lord's hand.
Yeah, which is rulership. And if the Lord give you rulership, no one can disannul it. So what we read is the assurities of the kingdom versus the vulnerabilities of this current place. See? Come on.
It says, for with his
Hey,
right-
because it's not stable. It's not rooted. And all it takes is a gust of wind. That's all it takes for this place to be out the way, a gust of wind, which is war. All it takes is a third war, and that's it. Because America is going to be in the middle of it. Either way you slice it, right? Not like everybody going to be thumping and looking over the whore. No, they're going to be jumping over each other to get to the whore in the case of a third world war. So something as volatile as war or a wind coming through. You see? Come on.
God, it says, for with his right hand shall he cover them, and with his arm shall he protect them. He shall take him, his jealousy for complete armor, and make the creature his weapon for the revenge of his enemies.
See, because the Lord going to use the nations to avenge, as well as Yahweh Shai as well. Yahweh Shai coming with his own brand of fire, man. And you can read about that in Zechariah, the 9th chapter. It speaks about that lightning that's going to emanate from him. And that's what you get with the storm. You get clouds, that's the chariots. You get rain, the missiles, and you get lightning, man. That's the lasers. Come on.
It says,
Hey, and you get thunder, because the Lord going to actually be speaking and calling up, right? So all of those components are going with the deliverance, man.
It says, that's it. He said, put on a righteousness, he said, put on righteousness as a breastplate, and true judgment instead of a helmet. And he shall take holiness as an invisible shield. His severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword. The world shall fight with him against the unwise.
See? So the Lord going to gather the nations to take down Esau. They're going to be really in confederate with Yahweh Shai in a sense. Because the goal is to take down the horse. See, read that again.
God, it says, his severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise.
See that? Go ahead.
Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go ahead.
See? So that's the Lord going to be sending his brand of fire. Go ahead.
It says, and from the clouds, as from a well-drawn
See,
bow.
from the cloud.
Right.
So the lightning going to come from the cloud, but go ahead.
And from a well-drawn bow shall they fly to the mark.
Right, and simultaneously the missiles coming. You see? Go ahead.
It says, and hailstones full of wrath shall be cast out as a stone bow. And the water of the sea shall rage against them.
See that? That's the storm, man. Go ahead.
And the flood shall cruelly drown them.
See that? And that happened with ancient Egypt as well. Remember the climax where the Lord drowned Pharaoh and his army? Well, ultimately that's going to happen again, man. See? So, you got anything else? That was good, right?
One more verse.
Yep, come on.
It says, a mighty wind shall stand up against them.
See, that's the destruction, man. Because you had forms of wind. You had World War II. That was gust of wind.
Yeah.
But now you got this mighty wind. You see? That's World War III. What?
It says, and like a storm shall blow them away.
See that?
Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth,
Mm-hmm.
and ill dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty.
See that?
Yeah.
America is going to be destroyed, thus taking down Esau. And the scriptures say the whole earth. That's not concerning the entire planet Earth. That's concerning the complete and utter landmass of America, Babylon the Great. See that? So yeah, with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Wachakadash. Double honors to our teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the son of laborers out there. And as always, you believers, to the next time, shalom.
Shalom.